Hi, you guys. Hello. If you guys are around, please see something. Can you guys hear me? So this is gonna be our first live stream, and this is gonna be about how to start a paper flower business. So I have several questions. Please, if you are, if you are watching this video, please let me know if the audio is okay. Because I don't want to waste my time and your time, and you guys cannot hear me. So many of the beginners, the very first question is that how would you really know if you are ready to start a paper flower business? So there's really no such thing as, oh, great. Hi, Distani. Hello. Thank you for watching. So the very first question is, how would you know if you are ready to start with paper flower business? So there's really no such thing as one size fits all. Hello, Init. So it all depends. So for me, I really know that I was ready because I really have strong desire in it. The passion that I have for it is so intense that I know whatever it takes, I'm gonna do everything. So it all depends also on your situation. So, like for example, for me, I was just so fortunate that I can able to, explore really the things that would make me feel good while also earning, but some don't have that luxury. So you have to test the water first. So the next thing that you guys were asking is how much capital do you really need to start the business? I don't necessarily require a huge amount of capital. In fact, I started my paper flower business with just $10 that I spent. So many of you would might say, that's impossible. How did I do that? Well, I already had my basics. I had my glue gun. I had my scissors, not the fanciest anyway. I had my pencils. The only thing was missing that time was the paper that I need to use to create my paper flower. So what I did was I went to Michael's, and I was just like 6 months since I first arrived here from the Philippines. And I didn't even know, you guys, cardstock exists. In the Philippines, we don't call it cardstock. We call it Oslo paper. So when I went to Michael's and asked for that type of paper, they didn't know. So I thought that they didn't exist. So what I did, I remember when we went once to the Dollar Tree that they had a poster board. It's a bit thicker, harder to manipulate. So then again, I don't have a choice at that very moment. So I bought, like, with my $10, I bought the $5 with the poster board. It's like a 24 by 28, and I believe way back then it was 49 cents. Now it's 69. So anyway, that's how I started, and the remaining $5 I bought the pack from Michael's, the 12 pieces stick glue. So that's when I start my career in paper flowers here. So you don't need a fancy cutting machine to start, and I would really not recommend to get one if paper flower is not even something that you would really stick in. I would recommend to get the PDF file first if you are a beginner, and then try to see if this is something that you can definitely do in the long run. So what materials, if you guys have any question, let me know in relevance to our topic today. So I will try to answer you as honest as I possibly can. So what materials do you need to start with paper flower business? So not really much. Of course, you need your cardstock. Cardstock is your prime material that you need. And I would recommend that you will get hi Sharon, you're very welcome. And I'm happy to help. I was there once before, so I really know the feeling, If we are lifting each other up, I'm sure we are all gonna soar high. So you're very welcome. So anyway, we need a cardstock, and I really recommend that you would stick to 65 pounds. This is for me the universal or the general weight for the cardstock that you are gonna use. So it's a 65 pounds. It's 176 GSM, if you know what GSM, but I prefer the pound. That's really what I encourage you to get to, if you are just a beginner. Whatever color you desire, stick with a 65 to 67 pounds cardstock. Hi, Clarissa. Thank you for the encouragement, and the tutorials are easy to learn with you. I'm so glad. I'm not I'm not a native English speaker, so I really try my hardest to communicate and try to, uh, try to give you the the wordings that I believe could at least clearly, tell you what I wanted to say. So thank you so much. TX Jet, you are such an incredible inspiration and exudes kindness and confidence. Thank you for all the sharing. You're very welcome. So again, cardstock, and of course, you need a scissors. And speaking of scissors, I would highly recommend, if you are a beginner, you don't need the fancy one, but make sure that you have the titanium one. Because you know why? When you are cutting like 3 sheets at a time or 4 sheets at a time, if it's just a regular scissors, regardless of how fancy it looks, it slides and there's like a slight millimeter of difference. For me, it's off. So I would recommend that, you will get the titanium blade, because when you cut 3 or 4, you are sure that it's really going on the line. You are not going to, like, I'm not sure if you guys have experienced it, but when you cut multiple pieces, when you cut it one time, there's like a slight difference in every sheet. So that's what I'm talking about. And I figured out that it's because some of the blades are not sharp enough, or it's not a titanium one. Sharon, thank you. You're giving me boost of confidence. So we have our cardstock, we have our scissors, and we need a pencil. Mary Amina, you're welcome. So I'm really happy to share, guys, because since when I was starting, although there are some tutorials in YouTube, when I was starting, it's very limited. Like, my God, the event in the entire United States is endless. That's how I feel. That's why I really don't feel the need to really, keep the knowledge that I have, because I cannot accommodate. I'm here in Michigan. I cannot accommodate the events in Las Vegas. I cannot accommodate the events in Florida or wherever. So the more people that would know about my craft, the better. And if you guys can also start a business out from what I'm teaching you, it would really mean a lot to me, because for me, I define my own happiness or success in this kind of career, not just the money, of course, the freedom that it gives me, but also uplifting other women who really needs this kind of lifestyle, that you are your own boss. You decide what to do. You decide who you accept or not, or who you decide whose client you are willing to work with. So I'm very happy that I can help, even just in this way. So back to the materials. I have here the pencil that I recommend is this pencil. It's a big number 2. It's 0.5 mm. I highly recommend this because it's fine, and when you trace it on your templates, it doesn't really give like a dirty smudge on it. So this is my preferred brand and preferred type of pencil to use. So we have the cardstock, we have the scissors, and we have the pencil. Of course, you need to have your curling materials. This is what I'm using right now. So my mother-in-law was the one who introduced me to this. It's like a knitting bamboo, but I like it because it's smoother than the dowels. I used to have the dowels before, but the knitting bamboo, it even has the sizing on it. So I can give you the sizing, more precisely now than before. This one is 10 mm and it goes all the way up to 2.5. So if you have like a larger petals, you can use like 12 up to 15 to 20 mm. Rhonda, when is the next class? Where? In Michigan? Maybe by April. Not really sure yet. I'm gonna arrange the venue first, and let's see, because I'm telling you guys, we have a house in the Philippines. So every now and then, we're going back and forth, and we really don't know. Like before, we didn't plan on going like July, but we did because we have some emergency in one of our property. So right now, I really try to hold, not to hold, any schedule or commitment for any classes yet. But as soon as I know that our schedule is stable, I will definitely do that. So I would love to give classes, and I would love to share, the paper flower arts with you. That's why, this is one thing that I want you guys to learn, because you cannot just sell this to your customers, but also if you are in a place, even if you're in Michigan, you are welcome to even conduct a class if this is one thing that you really are expert on in the long run. So you cannot just earn by selling the flowers, you can also earn by giving classes. So see, Maria Rivera, thank you so much. The next class, Rhonda, where are you from? Are you from Michigan or are you somewhere else? Huh. So anyway, you need the dowels. So this will help you curl your petals. So basically, when I start with the largest petals, I start with 10. So I'm gonna try to put all the links below later, of all the things that I'm using, so that you guys can have, can also have this stuff that I'm using. It's very easy and much smoother compared to the dowels. So it glides right to your cardstock. So the next thing that you really need to start a paper flower business is your glue gun. So this is my favorite glue gun right now. It's not the prettiest looking. It's an AdTech, and it has, as you can see, it has a pointed tip. So I prefer this, and look at the base. It can stand by itself, and it doesn't drip really much, compared to the other glue gun. It's not the cheapest, but I use this one longer than the others. And as you can see here, my husband also placed like a switch to turn this on and off, so I don't have to plug it in and out of the inlet. I was never ever able to make a rose until I started watching you. Oh, Maria, that's nice. Thank you. Hi from Belgium. I've been to Belgium once. I have an aunt and we have a relative there. We were, I'm planning to go back there sooner. Yes, in Michigan. So Rhonda, you're in Michigan. I will definitely keep you posted if we will have a plan for a class on April or May, okay? So I believe this is $16 in Joann's, but definitely worth it. So this is my kind of glue gun, because especially guys, that I am making the tiny flowers, the one that you see behind me. And when you are using this, you are building this very intricate petals, and you have to get into the tiniest uh, side. You really need something that you can sneak on it, not the bulky nozzle on it. So you need a glue gun, and then you need a stick glue. So basically, that's really all you need. And also the poster board. Speaking of poster board, I highly recommend use a base made of poster board, the one from the Dollar Tree. Do not use a base that's only made from cardstock, because cardstock isn't really that sturdy. It's flimsy. So when you are building your petals around, especially if you have the full 4 to 5 petals or layers on your flower, and your base isn't hard enough, uh, it won't hold. And especially when you try to arrange it somewhere like on a wall, it doesn't hold much to your entire petal arrangement. So I suggest get for the base, get the poster board from the Dollar Tree. So this is my office, guys. As you can see, that's some of my cardstock. That's just some. I have another stash behind in our living room that's full of rim of cardstock. So this is my other table. So it's electronic. It can goes up and down, since I work in computer like all day, all night almost. And another pile of cardstocks there. So that's the island where I used to have my video tutorial, but now I have a better place. This is not the place where I'm, doing the video, because I have a better lighting now. Plus the table itself really helps, to enhance the clarity, and because it's white, it gives more details to my to the event that I'm doing on the table. So those are the things that you need on starting a paper flower business. Now, the next question is, how can you get a cheaper materials when starting a paper flower business? So whether we like it or not, the materials really plays a crucial part, in our pricing, in our success, and in our in our revenue or profit. So we really have to make sure that when it comes to materials, we have to get the lowest price, because I've experienced that before, guys. TX Jet, what do you recommend to use for the hanger part? Oh, okay. So it's optional. So I have this one. It's a pipe cleaner. This is a quarter of the pipe cleaner. And I just bent it and glue it to the base. So, for example, I have this one as my base. I'll just glue this one first before I arrange my petals around. So the reason why I prefer this one than just a wire or a string, because it's sturdy, first of all, because it has a wire, yet it has some fuzz on it that would hold the glue binding to your paper. So the wire alone isn't so friendly when it comes to gluing it with stick glue, especially when you have an outdoor event, and you have the wire, and the sun is coming out, and the heat starting to feel, you can start to feel the heat. your wire will also get hot, and it would melt your glue, and then you would see the disaster. One by one, your flower is falling. Sabrina, oh my God, hi! Happy for you to be able to join us. I'm glad that you're here. So this is the hanger that I'm using. It depends. We also, when you are arranging it in somebody's house, you really have to be careful. You have to let them decide because it's their wall anyway. Like for example, if you are making an arrangement for somebody's nursery, you have to make sure that they're okay that you are going to uh, put a clear hook on it, like self-adhesive hook or something. So as you can see, I have my calendar here, and it has self-adhesive hook. So the same thing that you are going to use when you are going to put it on the arrangement, that's really my trick. Aside that it's clear, it's really sturdy. But the problem with that is, when it comes to taking it off, depending on the kind of paint that they are using, whether they use the cheap or the expensive one, there will be a chance that the paint will also peel off. So you have to be careful and ask permission from them also. Tell them straight that this is going to happen. Like, you cannot just put the flowers there and expect nothing happen. Or another solution is that, if you just want the flowers there for like 3 days to a week, you don't need a hanger. All you have to do is have a duct tape. Duct tape, the material and the kind also matters. So I forgot the name of the one that I am using. I'm gonna link it down below. But that one is not thick. It's light, yet it really holds your flower to the wall and also holds humidity and dryness very well. Hello, Nilanjan. Which paper flower do you mean, honey? So that's the thing. So now we're talking about where are you going to source your materials. So the biggest factor really in paper flower business is the price of Liney, the price of your cardstock. Your cardstock price is your make or break in your business. You would be able to have a big profit margin when you can find some way, or you can find somewhere, a cardstock that's very reasonable in price. Because if you are going to go to Michael's at the moment, this pack without the sale is $6.99, and it's only 50 sheets. And these sheets, the only thing that it's not all the time that you are going to use all 5 colors in here. Sometimes all you need is just this color. So basically for $6.99, you only have 10 cardstock. And Maria, hi, nice to meet you for the first time. Yeah, I'm really shy. Even up to now, I'm just putting myself together, trying to gather all my courage to do this. Because I really want to reach out to more people, I really want to encourage more people to do paper flowers. This is not just something, if this is something that you really don't want to have anything to do with business, that's fine. But at least the art of paper flower, it's really fun, and I want lots of people to know that. So it's really expensive for $6.99, and you'll only have you'll only get like 10 pieces of cardstock. So where can you source it, or what will you do for you to be able to have this cardstock in supply, that it doesn't hurt your pocket? At the same time, you can give a decent pricing to your customer. because whether you like it or not, I don't know if you guys have already experienced it, that the customer will turn down your product because you have already calculated your labor, and then you will put the price for the paper, and then they will say, oh my god, that's just a paper. Like, hello, try to go to Michael's and get the colors that you want, especially the picky ones. They are the ones who really don't have any idea what the cardstock cost when they say that, oh my god, it's just a paper. Haha, it's also expensive. Sabrina, thank you. How do you get your business out there? How will people know your big business exists? Uh, Thank you, Maria. Sharon, I will get to that point right after I'm gonna deliver. What I wanted to say about cardstock. So, what I did was that I saved. I saved. My husband told me that even when my even with my very first sale, even with my very first set before, that was only like $25. Only $12 was the one that I really spent to buy more materials to create more paper flowers. I saved the 13 for future upgrade or investment. So like months after, I guess I had like 300 $400, and I already got my Cricut then. I had a big project, and I able to get my cutting machine. I did not take a loan, nothing whatsoever. All the money that I bought for the upgrades are all from the the sales that I made. Plus, way back then, I already had a computer because I started graphic design and Photoshop and Lightroom. It's like my playground. So I already had a computer. So it's really not like uh, it's completely zero zero zero. But I had a computer. I had the scissors. I had a glue gun. I just don't have the cardstock and other stuff. But I didn't really use my computer until I had my Cricut, until like 4 or 5 months after I started. So after I saved, there was one time that actually three times that I hold everything, from Michael's. They usually every now and then, I guess every quarter, they held a sale that this regular price for $4.99 to $6.99 at Michael's, they price it to $2, like five for $10. So I have the money because I saved. So that's when I buy the cardstock. Like if we have to go like 3 or 4 Michaels or 5 Michaels around the area and get all the stuff that they have, and uh, go and buy it online, I do that because you never know. You never know when you are going to need this kind of color, and do not be afraid, to invest your money in cardstock because this is not going to spoil like food. You can stock it there like even for a year. As long as you don't open it or don't expose it direct to sunlight, you'll be fine. And just for example, somebody will just ask you, I need a set this color and this color. Then you have the colors available. You don't have to go to Michael's and calculate, oh my god, $6.99 per pack and only 10 pieces per $6.99. What's gonna be your profit then? And besides, if you are gonna price it with the price of the cardstock, the regular price of the cardstock plus your labor, I don't really think the customer would bite into that until they're very desperate. So that's one of my tip. Save. If there's sale, you really have to go and grab everything that you can. But be mindful also with grabbing the cardstock. Do not buy a cardstock that's not sellable. So I would recommend, if you are going to like buy things from a sale, make sure that you would stick with the like very light colors, or maybe if it's warm or bright, stick to like red, maybe some blue, but go to the pinks, the shades of pinks, maybe some purples. Yeah, there are some, for more than 3 years, I experienced that there are some people who really love purples on their events. So, you know, uh, that's one tip that I have. And another one is go to Amazon. Amazon has everything. Let me go and see who's here. New ones. Hi, Jenny. No, I'm still doing it, so you're still okay. What's AC Cardstock, Linda? I don't know. Is that the product name? Uh, I use this one. It's the recollection. Most of my cardstock are recollections, and also some are from Amazon. When you go to Amazon, as I say, when you go to Amazon.com, this pack of 250, this pack of 250 is only $6.99, and it's all white. So basically, you have $6.99 that you can use all the 250 colors. It's not like it has 5 different colors on it that you'll be afraid that, other colors won't be used. So Amazon is a good place to go. If you are going to go to my website, go to the supplies area, and I have links of different of the different materials that I am using, from the cardstock to the scissors to the pencils to the curling materials and everything. So back to Sharon, how do you get your business out there? How will people know that your business exists? Okay, this is a very interesting question. So I came here and I started my business like in a very weird way. Like, I don't drive. I don't know anyone. Like, even our neighbors is like few steps away. It's really not a close neighborhood. And the closest family member is like 2 hours drive away. So it's kind of impossible really to start if you're going to think about that, how you are going to start your business, how you are going to spread the world that, hey, by the way, I'm making paper flowers. Well, in this digital world, you really have to make friends with, the social media. So Facebook Market already existed during that time. So it seems like it's a blessings that God just dropped on my lap. Like, hey, you don't have to drive. Just take picture of your craft. Actually, this is the wall that I always take pictures on with my paper flowers. So I take pictures and I do some photo editing. It's not like I really edited everything. I enhance the color. Sometimes it's really a bummer that we have a nice creation, and then when we take a picture, the picture doesn't capture it. So you need an editing tools for that. And that's one thing that you really have to practice if you are really going to get serious with paper flower business, because picture does matter. So make friends with social, be a friend of social media. Use the Facebook Market first. So when you're going to use the Facebook Market, it would even ask you, how much coverage do you want that this product you want to to see. So you can either go to 25 miles to 55 miles, I believe. So You don't really have to go out there and tell everybody that, hey, I'm making this, I'm making that. So start with a Facebook market. Once you have your Facebook market, you know, when you started to, gather customers, start making a page on your own. A page would really help, to for you to be able to share it with you to your family members that you are doing something. So that's where you are going to upload all your pictures, all your results, all the positive feedbacks from your customers. So make a page. So once you have your page, uh, if the business is okay and you wanted to explore more outside of just your area or your state, try starting an Etsy shop. Etsy would really give you, a variety of clientele. So from within the United States to America or even outside the US. So do the Etsy shop once you are ready, but do not do not start with Etsy shop because Etsy is not free. Unlike with Facebook Market, unlike with your page, you can operate it for free, and you can test the water. So give it like 2 to 3 months of just having your page and having your product listed in the market. And if you are confident enough that your product is really good, you have enough feedback, but do not go there unless, or do not start on Etsy unless you have tested the water through Facebook Market, which is free. So how do you know what to start charging? Pricing is very complicated. Hi again, Maria. Pricing is a very complicated topic. There's really no such thing that I can tell you that this should be the range, because again, there are different places that you can get paper flowers, and for me, I just happened to be a lucky one that I catch some sales, good sales. I got some stuff from Amazon, and I most of my cardstock also is direct from a paper milling company. So it really depends on how much you spend. But if you are going to start with the $4.99 cardstock from Michaels, then it really varies. Because for me, because I have a very cheaper cardstock price, I don't feel disheartened letting them get my flowers, like 6 pieces of flowers for just $50. Because for me, it was fun to make. And the price of the cardstock wasn't really that bad. So if your cardstock is not $2 per 50, you have to charge higher. And don't be shy about that. I know I told you earlier that sometimes, the pricing that you have would potentially scare your clients away. But you really have to be firm with your pricing in the time that you already have ongoing solid business, because you don't want to end up like an accidental non-profit organization. You are not a charity. But here's another thing: how do you expose your product to other people? So again, through Facebook, through Instagram, that's one thing. And another thing, when I started, I was really willing to give like a free stuff to people. Like if you find somebody who has a birthday, like I had this one in Instagram earlier. I hope she's watching right now. I forgot her name. But she asked, how do you educate your people? How do you educate your target market how to use your product, which is a very good sense of question, especially when you are just beginning. Well, I started with just a word. I say, oh, hey, this is my paper flower. This is a set. You can use this one for weddings. You can use this one for your bridal shower, for nursery, blah, 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 blah. And then whenever I get the chance, like for example, like a family member's birthday, I would be willing to say, hey, I'll do the decoration for your child's birthday. But in exchange, I have to take picture of, the backdrop or the flowers with the cake and your child, if that's okay. So there's the social proof. And you really need that so that people will trust you, that you are credible and reliable when it comes to the business that you are in. So that's another thing on how you are going to expose your product. And if you know somebody who has a wedding, like offer something. Again, as I said on my recent blog, gain and revenue doesn't always come on a check or like cash. Sometimes it comes with the experience. It comes with, word of mouth. People was very happy to have your product. And I know it's disheartening because you exceed your effort there. But sometimes in your first 3 months, you gotta do it. You gotta have to build your portfolio so that you will be, credible enough so that people will trust you, that, you are the one that they can go to in case they need the paper flowers. So I hope that, answers your question about how I expose my product. So TX Jet, do you ever use prints or something to color the cardstock to meet the requested color? This is another good question. Cardstock is not like fabric that there was one customer, I gotta share this one with you guys. There was one customer that she was like, oh, this is not the kind of shade of pink that I really like for my daughter's wedding. It's like, my God, what should I do? So, and she's not even willing to pay. And I was so desperate before to really get the job. So what I did is I found a spray paint to use. So it's not a marking tools, but just a spray paint, which is closest to what she needs. So I was so glad and was so relieved that she liked it. So spray paint is a very good alternative in case, you don't have the cardstock or the paper color that you need for your event. So one tip, if you are doing the spray painting, if you are gonna use a very light color, try to use white cardstock. And if you are going to, like for example, you have to test it first on the cardstock before you spray paint before you even build the flower. So, like for example, if you wanted to use like pink or a silver, I would recommend to use a white cardstock. And if you're going to use like a deep dark color like gold and other ones, for the gold, my secret paper is this one. So this is what they call the craft cardstock. It's almost like brown, but not really brown. It's like a light brown. So this is something really good when you are going to spray paint it with gold or a rose gold. But I would suggest, if you are going to spray paint a flower, roses is the best type of flower to make. And you have to assemble it first before you are going to spray paint the flower. So I hope that explains it. You're very welcome, Maria. Linda, there are different types. I would try to put the link down below, but I guess their company name is the Paper Mill. So if you can search it online. Sharon, thank you for the information and I appreciate it. You're very welcome. I feel like quality of work is also important. That's very true. When you are charging, it also depends, you know. I think I tackled this one before. If you are going to charge your product, your paper flowers, try to see the kind of quality that you have. Be honest to yourself. Look at your, I'm not trying to say that you have to compare your flower to others, but especially if you are a beginner and you are still learning and you are your quality isn't really that uh how do I say it in a polite way, it's not that nice yet, you know, you still need more practice afterwards. You really have to also tone down your price, you know. As I said at the very beginning, the first 2, 3, 4 months of your business, all you gotta do is really to collect good feedbacks and you know, reviews from your customer. Uh, and the more that you are going to, the more that you are going to make paper flowers, the better it gets. And hey, you know, my flowers didn't really look at it doesn't it didn't look like this one when I just started. You know, you guys, you really have to dig it down to my Instagram account. Try to check it out. My very first paper flower that I made from that cardboard from Dollar Tree. It was hideous. Like, I saw your work, you guys, and it was really so much better than mine. So, you know, the more that you practice, the more that you do it, the more that your quality of work will improve, and the more that you can, I don't know, if I can say entitled, you know, you can be entitled to ask for more price because of the quality of work that you have. So, Maria, you're very welcome. That's true. You have to offer sometimes, but again, you have to be careful not to draw a line because the taker will just take. You know, as a giver, you also have to put a line on it. You know, where you have to stop. And I know it's hard, especially when it comes to family member. So, Jamie Jones, you have inspired me to do flowers, and thank you. You're very welcome. What is your website? Here, I'll try to type it for you. That's it. My first rose. Oh my. My first rose looks like a salad bowl. Oh, you are not alone. Oh Lord. But you know what? Sabrina, which part of the rose construction that you have hard time dealing with, or you have hard time to work with? Because maybe I can give you an insights. Maria Rivera, I tried to find the templates in your Etsy shop and could not find. It's the flower you just pick up. Oh, this one? I just finished making the tutorial. So this, yes, that's petal number 28. And I'm just gonna list it right after I'm gonna do this live video with you guys because I promised this one. I will be listing it this afternoon. So before 6, it should be up into my Etsy. Linda, yes, it's the Paper Mill store. So they have variety of cardstock. They have, you know, if you want to have if you want to have not all the colors, but for me, they have the most, they have the widest selection of colors and options when it comes to cardstock. And they are not the cheapest, but when you compare it to Michael's, like buying a pack of 50 for 6.99, and the only thing that you can use is one or two colors out of it, I would rather go to paper mill store. Or again, the best option that I would really suggest is go to Amazon. Amazon is one of the best place that you can go for the cardstock. Or if you if you really want to, Alibaba is an option also. However, Alibaba doesn't sell like up to, they have a quantity that they maintain. So they have a minimum quantity that they just accept when you order something. So if you want, to if you want to order really lots because you think you're gonna have more and more business to come, you can go there. But I believe that they start with 1,000 packs before they would even sell you an order. And the pack, it's also gonna be like this, like five colors in one pack. So plus you have to pay for the imports and the duties and all, plus the hassles at the custom. I would rather, if if you are just a beginner, try to concentrate on just getting the sale from Michaels. I will advise to Michaels or Joanne has tremendous sale every now and then. We had a shop here in Michigan. I believe it's just somewhere here in the area, and there's only one in Michigan, which is 45 minutes drive away from our house. It's called Pat Caton's. If you guys have the same craft store, they also do good sales. And I would suggest that sign up for their mailing list so that you will be notified in time that they are doing some crazy sale on their cardstock. And what's the other thing? Do you guys still have any any question? Yes, Maria, that's why you could not find it. I haven't listed it yet. So thank you so much, guys, for being with me in this live session. So let's see. I'll try to, post what type of uh, what type of discussion we are going to do next. Something that is very relevant, especially for those who wants to dive into paper flower business. So thank you so much for being with me for the last 53 minutes. I really appreciate it. So until next time, you guys, and thank you, and I love you all. Bye-bye.